All right. Well, first and foremost, good afternoon. Thank you, Juan and Regina, for having us here. Ethel, it's great to see you. Kathy, rock and roll. And for all of you that are joining us out there, thank you. Uh, my name is Henry Brun with International Trip. We're going to be playing some cool music for you. And it couldn't be better. It's a little toasty out here, but we're just going to have fun with it, okay? Let's let it roll.
Thank you.
It's hot. My shirt's sticking. It's okay, I'll manage. I'll loosen up. Go ahead. Gracias. You know, this is kind of weird for me because I know we're streaming live and I'm trying to pay attention more to you guys and what's happening over there. So they're just going to have to catch up, you know, because I like the interaction with the audience face to face. The streaming, yeah, it's cool. I'll get used to it. It's the old timer mentality. I'm sorry, it happens. And somebody's calling me. Tell them I'm busy right now. Again, I introduced myself as Henry Brun. This is the international trio. On bass, Max Garcia. EF by bass, Robert. Max? Yeah, I mean, no relationship. Robert Garcia. They're not married. No. They're not. Not that there's anything wrong with that. They're not related either. It's just a coincidence. A good one, for that matter.
We are related. We just don't know yet. And the way it is.
There is, eventually, once we sit down over a few drinks, they'll find out that there is a relationship on the back end. It happens that way. You know, I have family I've never met or seen, and they're chasing me down. But that's the way life is. It's a small world. First song we played for you is a beautiful song that you heard as part of a movie that was put together by Robert Rodriguez from San Antonio. Believe it or not, the director, film director Robert, is from San Antonio. El Mariachi. Then, of course, we heard this beautiful bossa line, Luis Bonfa, titled How Insensitive. You know, the strange part about this, besides the virtual aspect, I'm glad that the few I have here are fantastic. There's nothing that beats a live audience, I'm telling you that. I've been struggling with the fact of doing anything virtual just because of that. I feed off the audience to be able to keep on playing. But the strange part is I'm used to doing your concerts. You know, I've been playing for this association, this beautiful association, for so many years. I'm used to doing it with a big ensemble. And I thought it would be so appropriate to be able to see the soft side of Henry on this one here, a little bit more intimate, a little bit more personal. So that's why I chose this particular group to come and play. Robert's, what can I say about him? You know, we've been doing some great stuff over the past 3 years, and we still got a lot more to do. So on that note, let's play some more music. Gracias. Thank you. Now, I saved it for last. I do want to thank our host today. That's so important. You know, doing a concert in King William wouldn't feel right if it wasn't at King William, right? So when we started talking, we said we're just going to do a virtual thing. We're going to send the feed to the office, and then it would feed on, at the time that the concert would take place, which would be today from 5:30 to 6:30. Of course, then I got my beautiful wife involved because she's the technical one. I'm not, by no means. I wouldn't know where to start. I know how to turn my phone on and how to dial. That's about it.
Debatable.
And that's debatable too, yeah. But what turned out from being just sending a feed and airing it on the day of turned out to doing the concert live. So it left us with the challenge of finding a venue, and I couldn't be so grateful. You. You guys are incredible. Juan, Regina, gracias. Thank you for lending us your house to make it a true King William concert. And for that, we'll be forever grateful. Thanks. Wave, Regina. Okay, so let's play some more music for you. Now, this particular song is pretty cool, actually. This song here was actually recorded by a friend. I met him years ago, and we've done some really cool things. I've seen the trajectory that he's laid out for Latin music over the years, starting back in 1967 to be more exact. And today he is synonym to Latin rock across the world. We're talking about Carlos Santana. Now, I also had the pleasure of meeting the man who actually popularized this song, which became part of a soundtrack, and a very colorful story behind that I'm not going to tell on the mic. You can ask me later, and I'll tell you why. I won't say it over the mic. Gato Barbieri popularized this song to a global extent in the movie. What was the name of the movie? I forgot now. Last Tango in Paris. That's what it was. Incredible soundtrack, and one of Marlon Brando's best productions. So the song goes like this. Thank you. You know what's so cool here? I'm able to go ahead and do the little nuances that I like to do on my instrument, and I can hear them. Normally where I play, people are just talking and drinking and having a great time, which is also what I like to do. But thank you for being such a discerning, listening audience, man. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is we chose the song to play now in hopes that maybe the song would create a little breeze. So the name of the song we're gonna play for you is Breezing. I told him it would sooner, he's one of these guys, he's got to have shade, because he cannot function in the sun. Please.
It's true. Spanish.
All right, so this song is it's older than dirt. But there's nothing. I know it's horrible. So are we playing? But the cool part about it is that music that was, played back in the 40s, and 50s, and 60s set the standard to what music is today. And the younger generation, of course, takes ownership because they thought they were the ones that came up with it first. Okay? But the beauty of it is once they hear what happened back then, the way it's put today in their language, they're just crazy about it. And it's cyclical. That's what makes music keep on reoccurring generation after generation. This is one of those particular songs. And it goes like this. go wrong? I mean, it's one of those songs that, you know, you can hear it today and say, wow, how cool. That song is older than dirt. You know, it sounds as fresh today as it did back then. Of course, we make it sound cool. That's the important part. And you know, it's all about interpretation. You know, that's what people don't understand about music. We reinterpret music to cater to different audiences, and that's how music keeps on regenerating and keeps on going. And the whole intent of this group when I started it was to go ahead and bring a lot of this music that is almost lost because most people don't understand it, or it's gone by the wayside, and it's some of the most beautiful music in the world. You know, there's nothing better than to listen to beautiful Latin music that unfortunately, some American composers took credit for them. But, you know, I look at the bright side of it. What happened was these composers brought light to this music that had become global since then. So, you know, let them fight over who actually wrote the music, and let us continue enjoying it, you know, for generations to come. We're gonna go ahead and play this. This particular song is an interesting take of a classic actually. It's a classical song. We've got a couple of classical songs we're gonna be playing for you. Nothing close to what it was originally, but with a little bit of the Brun spice on it. And it goes like this. classical was when you were dancing disco back in the 70s, right? I did, I'll admit. It was a very cool version.
You're dating yourself, Henry.
I don't care.
Okay.
Now, I've always taken time to say this story because it's so important for people to understand the history of music and how things evolved. You know, there was a lot of beautiful music happening in Mexico back in the 30s and 40s. A lot of American composers were traveling to Mexico on vacation. They would hear these songs. They'd actually say, oh man, that's such a cool thing. They would in turn turn around and copy the music and come over here and bring it. So if you listen to some of the music that happened in the 50s and 60s, you would see that there's two versions to it. There's a Spanish version, which is incredibly beautiful. Like, it's impossible, somos novios, you know. And the lineage goes on. But the beauty of it, the music originated in Mexico. In Latin America, you know, where some of the most beautiful music has come from and continues to. But in the 40s, what people are not fully aware of, a lot of the composing that took place in the 40s came from women in Mexico. Oh yes, it came from women in Mexico. Okay, we had the privilege of having one of them live in San Antonio for a long time, Maria Griever, who composed incredible music. Now, during the same era, there was another composer in Mexico, Consuelo Velázquez, which composed this song that we're about to play for you. And the reason I bring that up is because, no, music has always been blindsided by the statement of saying, oh, this is, you know, it's male-generated and it's male-dominated. And for the most part, it has been, but let's make note of really the true evolvement of some of the most exquisite Latin music that ever evolved came from women from Latin America. So we're going to play tribute to Consuelo Velázquez with her beautiful hit, Bésame Mucho. Mexico. And only in San Antonio. That's all I gotta say. You're not gonna hear this type of music the way we're playing it for you anywhere else. Only in San Antonio. And now in King William. You know, this is a song. There's an interesting story behind the song. It's probably one of the most performed songs when it comes to Brazilian music. It's one of those songs that you first learn when you're starting to play jazz and Brazilian. And sometimes what happens is we get wrapped up in the vibe of, I don't want to play that song anymore because I'm tired of it. Until you mature and you listen to what the song is all about and try to exceed the level of performance that you first heard, from it. So I've started to incorporate this particular song as part of my regular repertoire, only because it's just an absolutely beautiful song. And it goes like this. Thank you. We don't have to stop it, at the time, right? Okay. No, because I got a couple more songs that I got to play. Nothing new. Ethel's used to it, right? Why should I change now?
Always do that in between every.
When you try to convey a message, it's very difficult to go ahead and convey a message in 60 minutes. The concept is beautiful.
We have all night.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. But yes, we do.
Right.
Salud.
Salud.
All right. This is another, Ludwig van Beethoven created some beautiful music. But in the classical scene, there were other composers that brought some incredible music to us that today resonates worldwide. Now it's our responsibility, it's our duty, our commitment, our accountability to bring this music to the younger generations for them to learn about it. Now, of course, teaching classical is a challenge in itself because you got to develop an ear for it. So, when we create music on our end, we find things that are challenging, but how can you turn them into fun? And not only limited to one particular composer. So how about a little Mozart for you? Of course, my way. And Robert tears it up. He shreds. Now, either Mozart is grooving or turning in his grave. One of the other. Or both. We can't be leaning to one side. We all play the middle road. This is our last song. I would say pass the hat, but I don't have one. No. Thank you. Thank you. Ethel, thank you for the call. You know,
It's great.
the King William Association and the community has always been near and dear to my heart. I've had some of my best gigs in this area at one time or another.
Last year's.
Yeah, I love playing your King William Fair, and it will happen. I have news for you. I'm going to start the show. Every time I finish it, no, this time I'm going to start. I'm going to run the show late, intentionally. Set everybody in the right mood. No, but thank you so much, Regina, Juan, gracias. I mean, you guys are just beautiful. Thank you for hosting us in this undisclosed location. We will not name the address, but you can figure it out. There's not a place here that's not distinctive, and it stands on its own. So, watch the video, and you'll figure it out. But gracias, honestly, thank you so much. Alicia, you've been fantastic. Ethel, thanks, of course. I'll continue playing for as long as you call me. All you beautiful people, beautiful community of King William, thank you for having us here. And this is how I want to wrap it up for you. We're known for jazz and Latin jazz and flamenco and Brazilian, but you gotta throw a little bit of rock in there, It's coming of age is what I call that. Growing up and just pleasing people. I want to expand. I want to be able to introduce jazz to a different generation, to a different audience altogether. And we've been fortunate that over the past 30 years that I've been playing in San Antonio, 32 to be exact, I've been able to achieve that. And with their support, I want to continue, if God permits. one more time, thank you. Thank you, Regina, Juan. Thank you, Eto. Thank you, Alicia. Thanks to the wonderful King William Association, which sets the standard by what many other associations should. And I want to thank everybody that's watching us streaming live today. I want to thank Judy, my beautiful wife, who's kept my life in order for many years. And that's a job in itself.
Amen.
Kathy, thanks for coming out. Tony P. Tony P. You get the message? All of you, thanks so much. You know, this is so important during these times. These are somber days in our lives, and we need to take them serious. We need to take care of ourselves. We need to educate everybody to take care of themselves. It's not to take lightly what's happening around us. And the only way we're going to continue surviving is if we follow a certain order. Let's be disciplined about it. Music and life will continue. We just have to find a different way to do it. For the time being, things will come back to normal, and we'll have a lesson learned at that point to follow. Until then, let's take care of each other. Let's pass the word on. Be safe. It's not worth the gamble, you know, only because we're doing it at the expense of those who care and love us, and that's a problem. That's a huge problem when we hurt those that love us just because we're selfish about not doing what we need to do in order to survive. That's the bottom line. Thank you again. Enough lecturing. Let's stop right there. All right, we'll play one more song. We started Mexican, let's close it Mexican. That's it, period. Gracias. Peace. Good night. God bless. Be careful.